Across the vast expanse of the American landscape, nestled among towering mountains and sprawling deserts, lie the remnants of forgotten dreams. Ghost towns, they're called. Echoes of a past that once bustled with life, now stand frozen in time. These deserted settlements, once vibrant hubs of industry and ambition, now whisper tales of boom and bust. They are poignant reminders of the transient nature of human endeavors and the indelible mark we leave on the land. Ghost towns are more than just decaying buildings. They are captivating time capsules, offering a glimpse into the lives and aspirations of those who came before us. Each crumbling facade, each dusty street corner, holds within it a story waiting to be unearthed. These stories, often born of ambition and driven by the promise of a better life, ultimately succumb to the unforgiving forces of history. The California Gold Rush of 1849, a time of unprecedented greed and unbridled optimism. Prospectors from all walks of life descended upon the Golden State, lured by the promise of striking it rich. Towns sprang up overnight, fueled by dreams of fortune and glory. Bodie, California, was one such town. Nestled high in the Sierra Nevada mountains, Bodie was a boomtown in the truest sense of the word. Saloons overflowed with miners eager to spend their newfound wealth. Brothels operated around the clock, catering to the desires of a largely male population. Gunfights erupted on the dusty streets, and justice was often swift and brutal. By the late 1870s, Bodie boasted a population of over 8,000, a dozen schools, and nearly 70 saloons. But the gold that had fueled Bodie's meteoric rise would also prove to be its downfall. By the turn of the century, the easily accessible gold had been mined. The mines began to close and people moved on to seek their fortunes elsewhere. Bodie, once a bustling hub of activity, slowly transformed into a ghost of its former self. Today, Bodie stands as a perfectly preserved ghost town, maintained by the California State Park System. Thousands of miles east, in the rugged landscape of Nevada, another boomtown rose from the dust. Virginia City, born from the discovery of the Comstock lode in 1859, quickly became synonymous with silver mining. The Comstock lode, the first major discovery of silver ore in the United States, ignited a silver rush that rivaled the California Gold Rush in its intensity and impact. Virginia City, perched precariously on the side of Mount Davidson, became a hub for mining magnates and ambitious prospectors. Mark Twain, the celebrated American author, spent his formative years in Virginia City, working as a journalist and soaking up the atmosphere of this boom or bust town. The wealth extracted from the earth beneath Virginia City fueled the growth of San Francisco and helped finance the Union cause during the Civil War. However, as with Bodie, the silver that had brought such prosperity to Virginia City eventually dwindled. The mines began to close and the town's population, which had once swelled to over 30,000, began to decline. Today, Virginia City has reinvented itself as a tourist destination, capitalizing on its Wild West heritage and offering visitors a glimpse into the silver boom era. The rise and fall of ghost towns were not always tied to the fickle fortunes of mining. Some towns, like Cahawba, Alabama, met their demise due to factors beyond their control. Cahawba, situated at the confluence of the Alabama and Cahawba rivers, served as the state capital of Alabama from 1820 to 1826. Its strategic location on the river made it a vital transportation hub, facilitating the transport of cotton and other goods. However, Cahawba's low-lying position also made it susceptible to flooding. A devastating flood in 1865 submerged much of the town, causing widespread damage and prompting many residents to relocate. The arrival of the railroad further diminished Cahawba's importance as a transportation center. By the turn of the century, Cahawba was all but abandoned, its streets reclaimed by nature. The story of Centralia, Pennsylvania, is a stark reminder that progress can sometimes come at a hidden cost. Centralia, once a thriving coal mining town, was dealt a devastating blow in 1962 when an underground mine fire ignited. The fire, believed to have started in a trash dump, spread quickly through the network of abandoned coal mines beneath the town. Despite efforts to extinguish the blaze, the fire continued to burn unabated, releasing toxic fumes and causing the ground to subside. By the 1980s, Centralia had become a ghost town, its streets cracked and deserted, the air thick with the smell of burning coal. The Centralia mine fire serves as a cautionary tale about the environmental consequences of industrial activity and the enduring power of nature. The rise of the automobile in the 20th century brought about significant changes to the American landscape, including the demise of many small towns. Glenrio, Texas, straddling the border between Texas and New Mexico along the historic Route 66, is a prime example of a town that fell victim to progress. Glenrio, established in 1903, served as a stopover point for travelers and truckers making their way across the vast expanse of the American Southwest. However, the construction of Interstate 40 in the 1970s bypassed Glenrio, diverting traffic away from the town and spelling doom for its businesses. The once bustling motels, gas stations, and diners that had catered to weary travelers stood empty and abandoned. Glenrio, once a symbol of American mobility and the romance of the open road, became a desolate reminder of the transient nature of progress. Not all ghost towns are defined by decay and abandonment. Some, like Colma, California, have found a unique and somewhat macabre niche in history. Colma, located just south of San Francisco, is known as the City of the Silent due to its unusual demographic. The dead outnumber the living by a ratio of more than 1,000 to 1. In the early 20th century, San Francisco began relocating its cemeteries to Colma due to overcrowding. Over the years, millions of bodies were moved to Colma, transforming the town into a vast necropolis. Today, Colma is home to 17 cemeteries, including the final resting places of numerous historical figures, such as Wyatt Earp and Joe DiMaggio. Ghost towns, once symbols of forgotten dreams and abandoned aspirations, have experienced a resurgence of interest in recent decades. The allure of these deserted settlements, with their crumbling buildings and haunting silence, has drawn tourists and history buffs alike, eager to step back in time and experience a bygone era. Many ghost towns have embraced their unique status, offering guided tours, historical reenactments, and even ghost hunting expeditions. These efforts not only help preserve these historical sites, but also generate revenue for local communities. Ghost towns, once left to decay and fade into obscurity, have found new life as tourist destinations, reminding us of the enduring power of the past. The ghost towns that dot the American landscape are more than just remnants of a bygone era. They are tangible reminders of the dreams, ambitions, and struggles of those who came before us. They offer a glimpse into a past shaped by the forces of nature, economics, and human endeavor. As we stand amidst the ruins of these once thriving communities, we are reminded of the transient nature of our own existence and the legacy we will leave behind. The silence that hangs heavy over these ghost towns is not one of emptiness, but one filled with stories waiting to be heard. Stories of hardship and perseverance, of boom and bust, of dreams realized and dreams deferred. These stories, etched into the very fabric of these abandoned settlements, serve as a poignant reminder that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit endures.